hello. I'm just going to sort out the moderators. Let's just see. Hi, Claire. So, I need to see a comment by allotment, Lucy. There she is. No idea what I do with that, Lucy.
It says find 3 dots.
You add as a moderator. There we go. Okay, you're going to just need to turn that volume down. There we go. Right, we're here. We've got 6 people. Let's wait until we see if there's a few more people who are going to join. I might just move this back a little bit because I want to make sure you can see everything I'm doing. I've just gone into Instagram to kind of tell people I'm here. Evening, Catherine. Hi, Georgina. Hello. Thank you for joining me. Hi, Celia. It's got some sew over it, sew along people here as well. Wonderful. Hi, Jessica. Hi. Thank you for being here this evening. So, yes, we are here to arrange the flowers. Now, if you're watching this after the live, I'll try and put any links to any sort of information that I mention in the description, although I probably won't get a chance to put all the names of the flowers. So listen, and if you're interested in knowing what we're arranging. So I have my flowers here, and hopefully those of you who have ordered flowers from this week will also have your flowers here. If you have any questions during this, I'll probably miss them because that often is what happens on these lives. But we have allotment Lucy, who's going to say hi again, maybe. Just say hi in a comment. She's sitting there, but she'll just comment now. So if you have any questions, allotment Lucy is live here with us, so she can answer them if it's related to the flowers. So feel free to tap in and what's the word? Make the most of her knowledge. Right. Okay, so I've done a bit of a Blue Peter moment. Here's one I've done earlier. So I just wanted to show you one that I did earlier. So I actually sent myself, I haven't cheated, I sent myself the ones that I'm going to work with, but I also kept a box because I made too many. I had a box that I left in the flower house on the field, and so they were there overnight in 24 hours, and these are those. So these are those that I have arranged in this vase, and I thought it would be quite nice for you to see them arranged in a vase already. The main thing I'm going to be saying about vase choices is that you really want to make sure that they're not too big, because unless you've got a lot of flowers, and I think often that's the not mistake, but often people just pop them in a vase, and I think it's too big a vase, and so it's all about the vase and not really about the flowers. So I would go as big as this vase for the flowers that we're using, and nothing particularly too tall, because that will help you create a bit, you want to be able to create a bit more sort of a rounded shape rather than everything just stuck like that. So if you want to go and change the vase that you've got now, go ahead, go change your vase. You could use a jug. I'm going to be using a jug, so something that's not too wide either at the top. So the narrower the better, I find, with these flowers. And I mean, not obviously silly narrow, but I just wanted to show you some other flowers that I've got, because obviously I have a lot of flowers in the house. So this is a little jug that my dad made. Now there's a lot more flowers in here than actually we're going to be working with today, but look how amazing that is. And it's all about the flowers then, it's not really about the jug. And you probably would think, oh, that's going to be too small for all these flowers, but it's not. So yeah, okay. So first thing we're going to do is we need to make sure, I keep losing my head, don't I? Let me just see if I move this back, because I can't keep standing back, because then I'm not going to, let's see if that's a little bit better. Yes, lose the slightly top of my head, but not my eyes. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to change the water. So the most important thing with flowers, well, there's a few important things, but one of them is keeping the water really fresh. So this was the water that I put them in when I first unboxed them. So I'm going to put them down there. I decided to use this jug and then I broke the handle. That was good timing, wasn't it, for tonight? So I've got my sink here, and I'm just going to change the water in there, lovely and fresh. And one thing Lucy and I were saying before is that you want it to be Jasmine. It's fine. Jasmine, I've told her that she's not allowed to be in this video, so she's just crawling along on the floor. You want it to be as clean as if you were drinking out of it. Now, so that means the vase has to be clean and the water. And the reason why is if it's not, and if there's sort of bits in it or dirt, that's going to add to the bacteria in the water, which is going to mean the vase life of the flowers is going to be decreased, not be as good. So, right, so the next thing that I do is I condition. Now, conditioning sounds like it's something really technical, but it's not. All you need to do conditioning is essentially cutting the stems, and it's also taking off leaves and putting in water. So we've obviously done the initial condition in already when you first opened your flowers, but now because we're going to work with them again, we might be taking off a few more leaves. So I'm just laying them out. So if you want to get your flowers and just lay them out. Now, if you have any that haven't revived, I did actually put in more than you would, I gave you more than sort of what they're essentially worth, if that makes sense. I wanted to be more generous so that if a couple didn't make it or didn't revive, you've got, you know, still enough to do a nice arrangement. So if you have got any that didn't really recover, or maybe you've got some that were fine but they need trimming the bits that didn't, because there's multiple buds on each thing, then we can cut those off. And I want to hold up, I would just really, for the interest of being really super honest, this Achillea didn't survive. It's probably because it was slightly too early when I cut it. So sorry about that if you've got something similar. So just put it to one side, there should be plenty. Also, this Lavatera, which we're actually going to start with, we kept some of the flowers that had opened on there because some of them have been absolutely, will have been fine and will have survived, and so it's worth you having them, but some haven't. So I'm just going to cut off the ones that are looking a bit tired, and you should have some buds that will still open as well. So this is Lavatera, and I'm going to start with this, and I'm going to cut that. I'm going to put it in there like so. Okay, I'm just going to make sure that on the rest of the stems that I'm taking off all the leaves. So your stem, you want to make sure there's no leaves. It's the same thing as the dirt. The leaves will just add to the bacteria buildup in the water. So you want to take those off. So taking them off my snapdragons. You might know these as antirrhinums. Of course, this is the wonderful thing about flowers, is there's two names for everything. So you think you've learnt everything and then you realise you don't know the common name, or vice versa. This is Larkspur, smoky eye, by the way. Really, really pretty. And you'll notice that they might have been really kind of wibbly wobbly when they came. That's because Larkspur try to reach for the light. So if there wasn't any light, then they might have gone that. I personally really love it, but I know that florists like them to be super, super straight. One thing I'm going to try next time I send them out is wrapping them separately, a little bit sort of more snug, and see if that helps. Now, cornflowers. The cornflowers you have, they probably are going to have a few different buds on there. So what I think with cornflowers, and you can see I've done it here on this one, is I've trimmed off, I've taken off a lot of these leaves, and I think that just adds to the beauty of the cornflower. So just take off the leaves, and you can see I'm just using my finger, doing it gently, taking them all off. And so they look a bit less wildflower and are less messy, and they make a bit more of a statement. If you have any buds that are blue, don't cut those off because they will probably open. They should open. So, Jazzy, go on.
My finger hurts.
Okay, darling. Well, over there, go show Lucy. Okay, I'm just taking, I cut off this, I think I cut here something off before. So anything that is not coloured is not going to open. Now you might want to leave it on there because you think it's attractive, but you might want to take it off. So you can see what I've done there with my cornflowers. So you might want to do that. I need to do the other cornflower. Let's stick to the same thing at the same time. So I have sent out this time blue cornflowers, but I'm actually growing them in lots of colours, and you'll be surprised. A lot of people have been surprised at the different colour combinations you can get with cornflowers. Yeah, we've got these lovely soft pink ones, dark maroony kind of chocolatey colour, and white, although the white I think is starting to turn, and hot pink, and then some kind of combination ones which are really interesting. Okay, I just think that's just a lot more whimsical and a lot more elegant. Okay, so that's that. We're getting there. Let's do that other snap. Take those off. Oh, look, Coco's coming up too. That's helpful. This is Verbena Bonaris or Bonaris? Not sure, but anyway, that's Verbena. Bees love this, really love this. Although they also love the cornflower. I mean, they love a lot of the flowers, so they particularly love the cornflowers, and it is a bit of a risky business cutting the cornflowers because I did get stung the other week. Then we've got some Ami. Now, this one here, I don't think he's going to revive. I think he's not made it. So I'm just going to leave that like that and cut that off. And then that one looks fine, so I'm going to leave that. You could remove these little bits, a bit like again with the cornflower. They can make it look a little bit tatty, certainly as the flower matures. So you might not want to include that. That one's fine, I'm going to leave that. Then this is called Dorcas carota, so it's from the carrot family. It's like the Ami, but it's that lovely pinky colour. And then this is Sanguisorba, and you can see I've got a bit of damage there, so I'm just going to cut that off. I'm going to cut that one off as well, and then leave the rest. Where we get to? My Achillea, or yarrow. That is this. So this definitely needs to lose some of the little areas where it's not quite, if it's not in full bloom when it's cut, it can go a bit limp. And so sometimes you find that the main part is fine, so you can include that, but the little bits don't always open in time. Okay, I don't know if I've got an extra snap here. If I do, I'm not going to use it. No, I don't. I think I have slightly different colour snaps from you because I'd run out of the yellowy ones, so you might not have those. And then they've got another piece of Achillea. Now this is one of those that I'm not going to send out again. I did send out a lot of them in bud, but they have not made the journey. I don't think they're good enough, so I'm really sorry about that. They won't be coming again. I think I've just literally damaged that now, so that's useless. And then we've got wrinkle crest, so this is our foliage. Now I'm not going to cut, I'm just going to, mine sort of in a few little bits, so I'm just going to cut it a little bit, but I'll probably trim as we go as we're arranging. Just pull something off there as well. Okay, so you can get rid of some of the bits off the bottom. So we've got all our bits lovely and prepped. Let's just clear the decks. I've made myself water, but now dropped loads of things in it. Okay, clearing the decks, there we go. So I'm starting with this. The reason why is I think it's quite bushy. It's quite sort of, it's, you know, often with floristry you start with the foliage because it helps with the structure, but I'm going to start with this because our foliage is quite delicate this week. And then I'm going to go in with the next things that are quite big, which is the snaps. So, heights. You can sort of see there the lovely shape that is creating. So it's just slightly higher and it's going off to that side, and you've got that one there. I'm just going to make this slightly shorter because I think that combination together with the different heights is really lovely. And then I'm going to work with that in the rest of the arrangement with the other things. So this snap I think is a bit too long, so I'm going to pop that there. And that one again is a bit too long, so I'm going to trim that and leave that there. And then maybe this one, he looks a little bit bent. He might still recover. If you do have any bits of flowers that aren't too happy, you could also cut those off. I think I'm just going to make that a little bit shorter. And then this next one is a little bit more upright, so I'm going to allow that to keep sort of in that shape. So there we've got some kind of shape to the arrangement. What am I going to go in with next? Ooh, I think I might go in with a little bit of Ami. Now the Ami, I love to kind of sit above to an extent. Now that's probably a little bit too much, but I like it to sort of pop up above an arrangement because the shape of it is just so pretty and elegant. I sort of like it to do that. So sort of you can, once we've got a few more things, it might sort of behave itself, but I like that that's just sort of out there. This other piece though of Ami, I'm going to keep that straighter and shorter, so I'm just going to pop that in like that. Now when you're doing an arrangement, you also want to think about, is it going against a wall or is it on a table? Because if it's on a table, then you might want it to be, you need to think about how it's going to look from every angle. But if it's against the wall, then you don't need to worry about that. So that one's gone in there too. Let's see if we can bulk it out with a little bit of this. I'm going to cut off the larkspur and I'm going to pop that one in. And this larkspur is lovely and tall, but I think that it might be a bit too tall. So I'm going to, let's see. Oh, Poppy's barking. Welcome to the madhouse. This one I'm going to go in really short. There we go. And the sanguisorba, that I might put in at the end actually, because that's a lovely kind of wispy bit on the top. The achillea I'm going to keep really nice and short. It sort of gives it's hard for you to see there, but it gives a sort of, fills a gap so it's not too stemmy. So I'm going to put that one there and I'm going to put that one there. Okay, we're looking nice. I feel like definitely I want something there, but we've still got these to go. So we could put cornflower in there, a little bit of cornflower, and we could keep one cornflower really nice and long, just poking up in that direction, of that asymmetry, like that. Yeah, okay. And this one is going in there, the little verbena. So I've forgotten to put this in actually. Let's see. I'm going to put some of this in. Some of the cress. Just use it to fill it up. Cutting it quite short. Again, it adds frothiness. As we come into, say, dahlia season, we won't be doing the arrangements like this because they're really full and big and they'll need something different. But these flowers, I think, the light, airy frothiness and also the fact that they're a little bit, you want the wispy bits and things coming up.
It's very midsummer.
Midsummer, exactly. There we go.
Wildflower.
Midsummer, we've still got this.
Lots of froth.
Yeah. Lots of froth, exactly. That is hilarious and will look way too tall. So I'm definitely going to take that off, but I want it to be above. I want it to add movement. And I think, it's hard for me to see, but I think that is, move those out of the way, is it. I often find that I go walk past them and I tweak them. And also as the flowers age, they're going to do different things. So I might just trim that one down. So you might need to tweak it as you go. And that's something as well I was going to say, that I kind of don't see an arrangement as like I've arranged it and that's it now until the flowers die. I go back to it every day, or as I walk past it I tweak it and things. I cut off bits that have gone dead and add little extra bits to it. And don't be afraid to put in things from the garden if you've got a garden. Try those things out and see if they add anything. There we go. That's it. So we've got two arrangements with those same flowers. We have these, and we have that, which is a little bit taller. So based on the vase size, you can see. So I hope that has been interesting to see how I'm arranging the flowers. Now that I'm not doing anything, I can actually see what your guys are saying. So if anyone has any questions for me, then I could answer them now, so feel free to put them up. One thing as well I should say is that, for example, this arrangement, this is an example of me adding to it. So there was half of these flowers and then I just kept adding to it as I saw things. Obviously there's a lot of flowers in my life, so I've got lots of flowers to keep adding, but you know, if something was losing, oh, hi Paulette, hi, thank you. If something was like losing a bit of like, it was starting to look a bit, you could just cut something from the garden and pop it in, even if it's just foliage, you know. One thing that we have lots of in this country at this time of year is foliage, so feel free to do that. So what I'd really, really love is for you guys to share your creations from today and how you put them in, and it'd be nice to see the vase. I was thinking we should have done a hashtag, shouldn't we? Why don't we just do hashtag Jazzy Rose Flowers? If we do that, then we can search for hashtags and see how other people are arranging them. Yes, they are all flowers that I have grown, absolutely. They're all from my field in Chipperfield in West Hertfordshire, where I live now. I think I saw someone earlier saying, have I moved? I have moved. Yeah, so much better now. Oh, okay, smaller vases. Yeah, I really do think that is often one of the biggest mistakes with people putting flowers just into a really straight, big vase and the flowers look lost. You need to bring them down to shorter heights. So otherwise it looks very stemmy. One thing I definitely want to do with you, but I wasn't going to do it straight away because it means you have to get one too. But I want to show you how to work with a frog, which is something like this. So this is like the sustainable floristry thing. Now these must be Victorian, or do they go back before then? Or they're Japanese. I think that before florist foam was invented, this is what florists use. But if you've got one of these, and they come in all sorts of sizes, you basically just stick the stems into it, but you can use anything. So my dad makes these lovely bowls, but you can use any bowl, and you can create this lovely, you know.
I've got a lovely...
Can you pull the one right at the front back so I can't see? Sorry, which one?
The Annie is blocking the bowl.
Oh! Sorry! There we go. So yeah, little bowl, any kind of bowl, and put that in. I need to see, I mean, I think I got these from a floristry supplier, but you can get them. I will be talking about them on my Instagram and in future arrange-alongs where you can get them so that we can use them. But I'm really conscious that I don't want to do something that, you know, not everyone will be able to do. So probably when I do use one of these, I might have already pre-arranged the flowers just in a regular vase. And I'm going to try and do things in a different way. You know, maybe some weeks I'll use a vase, some weeks I might even use a glass, some weeks I might use little bud vases. And I think that bud vases are definitely something to get. I really recommend bud vases, having those in your vase cabinet, because your flowers of course are going to fade, and some of them are going to fade before the others. So then you need to basically kind of enjoy the ones that are still there. So rather than going, oh, they look awful, what I do is I then pick out the ones that have still got a couple of days left in them, and I put along the middle of a table a few little bud vases. And I think particularly with this style of British grown midsummer flowers, that just looks so beautiful. They just look so beautiful because, again, the flowers do the talking, not the vase. It's funny actually, it reminds me of, I used to talk about that a lot with weddings, that you don't want your wedding dress, when I worked in that, or also with fabrics and sewing, you don't want the print and the dress to wear you, that you want it to kind of enhance you. And so you've got to make sure that you don't choose something that's overpowering. Anyway, there we go, that is it.
They would like to see the vase in the centre of the screen,
The big one. Okay, I'm going to move this one, so there we go. Let's just do a turny roundy. Da, 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 da. That's that. Excuse the broken handle. Got to get the super glue out. And then this one. There we go. You're amazed at how much you've cut away. Yeah, and it makes all the difference, Claire, cutting away. Because if you cut things away, you just, you know, all the little bits that can just look tatty, it means that the flowers shine through. So particularly I think that's effective with cornflowers. So there we go, turning it round one last time. Okay.
I picked some cornflowers last Thursday and the new buds are still opening.
Oh, well, that's wonderful. So Lucy, in case you didn't hear that, she picked some cornflowers last Thursday and the new buds are still going. So when that's tired, I'm going to cut that and this little bad boy, hopefully, will open. Thank you so much for joining. That was really fun. I'll be back again next Friday. So I'm planning on, I'll move this out of the way. I'm planning on doing this most Fridays. Oh, happy. Perfect timing. Just a second. Planning on doing this most Fridays, but obviously if I can't, then I'll be doing it on another evening. But I think James is about to come home, Jasmine's looking grumpy, and Poppy's barking, so let's call it a night.